Sometimes we see how people literally portray their arrogance without even realizing it, without even realizing there's anything wrong with it. And for example, you go sometimes to certain places. Let's say if people go to the mountains, or they go to places where they have all of these bungalows and different cabins, and you see that there are sometimes people that just decided to engrave their name on the wall. Steve was here, 1988. Joe was here, 1989, and so on and so forth. This is exactly what the Gemara is talking about. Istiragina kilkilgarsha, that it's kishkishkarya, that the person is feigning attention to such an extent that he wants other people to know that he was there. Why is that of any value for anybody else to know that he was there? No one knows. Why is it okay to damage somebody else's property just to let other people that don't even know you that you were there? Certainly does not have any answer. Because the real answer is a deformity in that person's character traits, that they have gotten to a point where consideration of anybody other than themselves is simply non-existent in their life. So the first thing that the Ramban is telling us, do not be this person. Don't be an arrogant person if you want to achieve holiness. If you want to fulfill your lust, then this series is not for you. This book is not for you. In fact, even the Torah is not for you. Because one of the things that the Torah is supposed to do is to humble a person. But if a person has no interest in being humble, that means that they don't actually have any concept of what benefits they'll get from humility altogether. But humility is not just a word that you say and therefore you're humble. I once saw this speaker that, let's just say, he wears his arrogance on his sleeve, just by simply the way he presents himself, the way he dresses, the way he, carries himself. But the funniest thing in the world is that I've heard him multiple times talk about how, you have to be humble. You have to be humble. You have to be humble. He says you have to be humble while he's bragging about all types of things that he has. So many times, humility is just simply part of people's imagination. Humility is not, making yourself a homeless and a loser and going to the extent of, forsaking all good in the world. Humility is just simply knowing where you stand in the world. And not by comparing yourself to every loser out there, but rather by simply comparing yourself versus what you can be, and more than anything else, what has actually been achieved in the world by greater people than you, and last but not least, by what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has provided you, to know where you are. When you understand these things, then that means that you have never a reason to be arrogant about the money, because God gave you the money. Never have a reason to be arrogant about your looks, because God gave you the looks. Never have a reason to be arrogant about any of your things that you've acquired through life, because God gave it to you and He can certainly take it away. So if a person wants to achieve holiness, then the first thing they have to run away from is arrogance.